right, so today we're going to do a deep dive on unconditional love.
Okay.
We've got some notes here.
Right.
And honestly, it feels like we're going to end up with more questions than answers.
Interesting.
Because these notes just keep repeating unconditional love,
Okay.
over and over again.
Okay.
And this idea of unconditional love
Okay.
really fascinated him.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to dig into that. But
Okay.
to make things even more interesting,
All right.
there's also this Bible verse,
Okay.
Romans 5.8 thrown in, just to spice things up.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I'm really curious to hear your perspective on all of this,
Yeah.
especially looking at it from a theological angle.
Right.
Where do we even begin with this?
Well, I think what's really interesting right off the bat is this connection the source is making between unconditional love and God.
Okay.
It's not just some abstract ideal.
Yeah.
It's like a fundamental attribute of the divine,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. It's like,
It's how God is.
boom.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how God rolls.
Yeah, yeah.
And you mentioned that Bible verse,
Yeah.
Romans 5.8,
Mm-hmm.
but God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us.
Right.
I mean, that's
Powerful stuff.
heavy stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, sure.
What does that really tell us about unconditional love?
I think that verse really gets to the core of what makes God's love unique.
Okay.
And the key part is that it says, Christ died for us while we were still sinners.
Right.
That's the kicker, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
yeah.
means God's love isn't based on,
Mm-hmm.
our performance
Yeah.
or our worthiness.
Right.
Or even our good intentions.
Yeah.
It's given freely even when we're, let's face it, not at our best.
Oh, absolutely. Not even close sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's not like a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of deal.
Exactly. No strings attached.
No strings attached.
It's a complete kind of like a flip of the script on how we usually experience love.
Right. Yeah.
Especially in human relationships.
Okay.
And this is where I think the concept of grace comes in,
Okay.
which is the idea that God's love is this pure gift, something we receive, not something that we earn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll be honest, that's a really tough concept for me to wrap my head around.
I understand.
It's like,
It's a big one.
yeah, to love without expecting anything in return, without any conditions.
Right.
It feels almost superhuman.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely goes against our natural instincts.
It's like we're wired
Yeah.
for conditional love, right?
Right.
Behave this way, do this, achieve that, then I'll love you.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to put conditions on our love.
Right. Yeah.
And honestly, this idea that there's this contrast between divine love and human love is something that's been debated for centuries.
Really?
Yeah, even within Christian theology.
Huh.
It's pretty interesting.
I didn't realize there was that much disagreement even within theology itself.
Oh, yeah, there's tons of different interpretations and schools of thought.
Right.
And, some scholars point to other verses in the Bible that suggest God's love might actually be conditional.
Wait, really?
Yeah, in certain situations.
Interesting.
It's really a complex and fascinating topic.
So we've got this idea of unconditional love as this powerful ideal,
Right.
maybe even unattainable,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got this Mr. Simplice,
It's just in place.
whoever he is,
Right.
fixated on this idea.
Yeah.
I wonder what his take on it was.
Yeah, what was he thinking about?
Yeah. Was he thinking about this divine love that we've been talking about?
Right.
Or was it something else entirely?
It's hard to know.
It really is. Yeah. But it's fascinating to think about,
It is.
It's like, what was he grappling with?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he was trying to reconcile that ideal
Yeah.
with what he saw in his everyday life,
Right.
in human relationships.
So where do we go from here?
That's the big question, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, if unconditional love is this challenging ideal,
Right.
how do we even begin to apply it in our own lives?
Exactly.
Right. I think
Yeah.
it starts by acknowledging that
Right.
we're human, we're going to make mistakes,
Right.
we're not going to be perfect at this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we can try to use God's unconditional love as a model,
Okay.
a North Star to guide us.
Yeah.
And that can be incredibly powerful.
Could you give us some examples
Yeah.
of what that might look like in our daily lives?
Absolutely.
How do we see this playing out?
Well, think about forgiveness.
Okay.
Can we forgive someone who's deeply hurt us?
Right.
Not because they deserve it, but because choosing to forgive is an act of radical love.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's about truly accepting someone for who they are.
Yeah.
Even if their choices or beliefs differ from our own.
Yeah.
It could be about practicing patience,
Mm-hmm.
offering support when it's difficult,
Okay.
showing compassion when it's easier to judge.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's so many different ways this can manifest.
This has been so eye-opening.
It's a big topic.
It is a big topic.
For sure.
So just to sum things up for our listeners today,
Okay.
unconditional love is a really powerful concept,
Absolutely.
especially when we look at it through the lens of God's love.
Right.
But it's a concept with a lot of layers.
It is, yeah.
Even within theology itself, there's a lot of different interpretations about it.
Exactly.
But ultimately, it's about acceptance,
yeah.
forgiveness, offering love freely,
Mm-hmm.
a really tough ideal for us humans to achieve,
It is.
but a powerful one that can really be transformative.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe this was the struggle that fascinated Mr. Simpless.
Yeah, maybe.
So here's something for you to think about as you go about your day.
Okay.
How does this resonate with you?
Right.
Do you strive for unconditional love in your relationships?
Good question.
Where do you see unconditional love in your life and in the world?
Yeah.
Or where is it maybe painfully absent?
Right.
Keep those questions in mind as you move forward today.
It's a good takeaway.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
It was great having you.
Thank you for having me.
See you next time.
See you later.
Bye.